We are living in such interesting times right now with the COVID-19 pandemic. And some of you are considering going out and about in society to attend your doctor's appointments in person, whether this means your physical therapist, your neurologist, or anyone else on your healthcare team. And before you do that, I want to provide you with 4 questions that you should be asking your healthcare providers to ensure not only your safety, but the safety of those around you to help you stay healthy during this time. If you have any hesitancies about going to your appointment in person, then see if your doctors are offering telehealth services. If they are, that would be a great option. However, if you're ready to go back into society and your clinics are opening, please make sure to ask them these questions before you go. My name is Dr. Gretchen Hawley. I'm a physical therapist and a multiple sclerosis certified specialist. I created this YouTube page to help educate you on strategies you can use and exercises you can do to champion your life with an autoimmune disease. The first thing that you should ask your clinic is, what strategies are you implementing to ensure safety and cleanliness for the people who are coming to your office? And hopefully they will list off a ton of things that they are doing. But you want to ask specifically about mask wearing. Are patients required to wear masks as well as the therapist, or just the therapist, just the patient? This also includes any strategies such as testing the temperature of everyone's skin when they come into the office, as well as making everyone wash their hands. If they do have those strategies, you should be prepared for those before coming to your appointment. Also, what is the seating like in their waiting room? Have they taken some chairs away so that there are fewer people? Or have they moved the chairs 6 feet away from each other to abide by the social distancing laws? And lastly, are they implementing any rules for cleanliness after appointment sessions? Typically, physical therapy clinics run back-to-back sessions, meaning as soon as you are on your way out, another person is on their way in, and there's very little time for cleaning, and it's typically just spray, 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 wipe, 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 next person is in. So you want to make sure that ideally they are having and implementing extra time into their schedule to do a thorough cleaning after every PT session. The second thing you should ask is, how many people can I expect to be there during my PT session? And you want to inquire not only about patients, but about the therapists too. If there are several PTs, and maybe you go to a bigger office, so there's occupational therapists, and maybe speech and language pathologists, or cognitive behavioral therapists, how many therapists are there? And approximately how many patients will each therapist be treating at a specific time? Some physical therapy clinics only treat one-on-one, so 1 patient per therapist, but there are many that treat 1 or 2 patients at a time. Also, if there are any assistants or aides that will be working with patients while you are there, that is important to know. So make sure to ask the number of therapists as well as the number of patients that typically work with each therapist. The third thing you can ask about is equipment. There are some physical therapy clinics that are not using any of their equipment right now for safety precautions, and instead you must bring your own equipment. So if you normally use resistance loops or TheraBands or handheld weights, they're making you bring those in with you instead of using the ones in their clinic. However, not all clinics are implementing this. So understanding what equipment is being used and if you will need to use that during your session. If they are a clinic that is allowing you to bring in your own equipment, make sure you prepare that before your appointment. The fourth and final question you want to ask them is, where will you be working during your session? And every physical therapy clinic is different. Some of them and most of them have a gym area. And this, in some cases, might be an actual gym if it is open. In other cases, it just means it's an open environment with a treadmill, maybe an elliptical or a new step, resistance bands, like that's where all of their equipment is. That is often called the gym space or the open environment. So will you be working there, or will you be staying in a private room the entire time? This is important to know because if you are out and about and there's going to be other people out there, you need to take more precautions than if you were in an individual room with just one other person at that time. Just to recap, you want to be asking, what strategies are you implementing to ensure safety for myself as well as others? How many people can I expect to be there during my appointment, therapists as well as patients and maybe even front desk staff? What equipment will we be using, and should I bring my own? And then the final question you want to ask is, where will we be working? Will we be just one-on-one in a private room or out in the open? I hope you find these questions helpful. Write them down so you remember to ask them when you are calling to inquire about an in-person appointment, and stay safe out there. At this time, the CDC is still suggesting you wear a face mask and extensive hand washing anytime you are out and about or touching anything that possibly could have the virus on it. And if you are considering telehealth physical therapy and you live in the states of Massachusetts, New York, or Maine, and you're interested in working with me, drop a comment below or send me an email and I'll respond to see the best way for us to work together. Also, don't forget about my online MS wellness program, The Missing Link. There are tons of physical therapy exercises in there, as well as guest speakers and symptom management strategies you can start implementing right now to help you champion your life with MS. If you have some extra time, feel free to check out some of these videos, and please remember to press the thumbs up button, share with a friend, and press subscribe.